Yep. So probably one of the mistakes franchisees make, a couple of things. Face-to-face is a dying art. People are emailing and texting and, all that sort of thing at the moment. Technology is great, but they know who gyms are. So an email is not that impressive unless they know who you are.
Yeah.
So make sure you go see them first, then follow up with the emails and texts. Oh, it's Joel from, Jim's Mowing. He went and saw me the other week. Oh, he's sending me some emails. Great. That creates that relationship.
Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Gyms Cast. And it's a bit different, even though it's called the Gyms Cast. We have Sam Robertson in the hot seat today, and I thought we'd grab Sam because we're doing some content with Sam today. And Sam is one of the gym's group trainers, and he does the local area marketing session, so he's got a lot of good advice and tips. But let's start with your origin story, I guess.
Yeah.
So what were you doing prior to gyms, and how did you get involved with gyms?
Look, I was in the building industry. I had a bit of a marketing background, but then I got into the building industry through the family business, as you normally do.
Yeah.
And I was going to work with Dad for 2 weeks, and I lasted 7 years. So I had the 7-year itch.
Yeah.
And a mate of mine was starting Jim's building inspection, so it was very early on.
So your mate's Paul?
Paul, who started
Paul
the division.
Yeah.
So we're in a pool bar in Vanuatu at a wedding, and I was having a whinge to him about work. So he said, come along and have a look at this, and became a franchisee, but very quickly became a franchisor because when you start a division, they need the franchisors. So he sent me up to Sydney, made it really hard for me. So got me to commute up there and get the business going up there. So I've had a bit of a go at everything in the gyms group in the past sort of. I was 2012 when that happened, so it's been a fun ride.
Yeah, because building inspections, I think 2011.
Yeah,
was around about start. So you got him right on the ground floor.
Yeah, I think I was franchisee number 4.
Oh,
or
really?
Something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was early days.
So then sent you up to Sydney to establish the regions. So how was that in the early days? Obviously, you just started. Obviously, it was Victoria's where it started, but you had to establish it. You would have been the first one, I would say, up there. Yeah. So how did that go in the early days?
It was frightening, to be honest. Yeah, right. I didn't know Mount Druitt from Vaucluse, so I actually stayed with his uncle, just so we had a bit of a spot to stay at. No, I wasn't sleeping in some hotel room the whole time. And then, but we knew it was a great concept. We knew that builders needed it. For builders, when you're in the building game, if you're getting off the tools, there's not many options for you. So, you can get into project management and supervising roles and that sort of thing, but it can be really stressful. So our target was that 40 to 50 year old that wanted to get out of it but still use his building knowledge. So we knew we were onto something. So it didn't take too long for us to find a couple of really good franchisees, and away we went. Yeah,
so now you've been here since 2012. You've worked your way up, and obviously you've got maybe you want to talk about hazardous waste, hazardous material removal, is the name.
Yeah, so I found a bit of a niche when I was a franchisee in asbestos inspection. So I was doing asbestos testing, audits on buildings and all that sort of thing. I really got into it. If you asked me before, would I be into that? I wouldn't know, but it's funny when you get into a business like this, you just sort of find something that you're good at. And I marketed that pretty well, but then everyone kept asking us to remove it. And the funny thing is with gyms, people ring gyms even if there isn't a division in that. So gyms were telling us, look, there's all these unserviced leads of people asking for asbestos removal. So we then started Gyms Asbestos Removal, which is now Gyms Hazmat Removal.
I remember you guys did the sampling, didn't you? Because you could only do the sampling, but you couldn't have the solution. You're right. You couldn't provide that to take it away or whatever.
So we were the assessors. So where at the start we do the sampling, then a removalist removes it, then we do a clearance certificate.
Right.
So we saw an opportunity there, and Gyms is all about referral, which is great. These guys got our referral, and it was a beautiful sort of relationship. I became a divisional in that, but I've since dropped back to being a franchisor because I think that's what I'm good at.
Now, you've been here since 2012, and now you're one of our trainers. So what people don't know is you have a 3-day generic training course, and to be a trainer is actually it's the top level people, right? So you're one of the trainers in. It is. It is. The training course is great. Objectively, even though we're both involved in gyms, the 3-day training course, the people who do it, because they do it over and over and over and over, led by Mike D, it's such a really thorough, ultra-professional course. And now, obviously, you've been a part of that.
Yeah.
So maybe do you want to talk about the actual session and what you teach new franchisees who come through the program?
Well, I'd firstly like to tell you my experience when I first went to generic training. I just found it was just such an eye-opener. Everyone... You don't know gyms group till you come to the orientation training. Like, everyone's got their perception of what it's about. Some people don't even know gym exists, So to come out here and do the 3 days blew my mind, And I've got I'm not patting myself on the back, but I've got a bachelor degree at uni and all those sort of things. So I've done courses and degrees, but the 3 days were run by, almost call it blue collar, because these are the franchisees that turned into franchisors that made a success of their business. So I got a lot out of those 3 days, and really that, gave me the right sort of tools to start a business with gyms. I was really excited about it. So to get the call up to do the training was a real honour. I was rapt to be in front of people and actually talk about my experiences. So, and they've got me in to do local area marketing. So that's something that if we were to teach mowers local area marketing, they get a ton of leads. So it's not really something they get onto our divisions, where we need to work a little bit harder for our leads and get referral through real estate agents and conveyancers and all the different
those little things that you need to really do. Right, I have to ask for the referrals, but you're right. There's some divisions in the group which are pretty, like, let's say fencing, which is 60% unserviced. It's probably not as relevant, but as you said, you're spot on. For your divisions, maybe test and tags, another one probably a bit more. They have to get out there and prospect and grind a bit harder.
And the way the gym system is structured is it's not a percentage based franchise where they take a percentage of your income. And to be honest, if it was that, I probably wouldn't have done it. So I love the fact that, all right, you turn the tap on and off for leads, but referral is just your effort. 100% of what you put into referral is 100% of what you get. So I just thought that was excellent, because all the effort that you put in using the gym's brand to your advantage. So I had a real concept of, when I get into this business, leads are a bonus. I'm out there to generate my own referral network. And I did quite well out of that. So building inspections got me in to do the local area marketing for them, and then Mike gave me a call to talk to all the other divisions about the different ways they can get referral.
So how did you build your referral network in the early days then?
Well, it's funny. I thought about it and I thought, it's all about the elevator pitch and going in and talking to people and telling them how good you are. But it's a question I asked the group: what do people love talking about?
Themselves.
Yeah. So how excited is a business owner going to be when you come in there and say how great you are? So it's about networking and actually talking to a business about how you can help them. And I work with BNI, give BNI networks and all that sort of stuff. And I try to teach the franchisees that be a successful networker is one about being highly networked in your region, where you refer other businesses as much as they refer you. So people feel then obliged to refer you. So I show different techniques on how to do that. But one of the biggest things I say, look, all these slides are here. You're probably going to come out with 20% of what I spoke about today. The biggest thing is to ask for referral. People don't ask. They do a job and they're transactional and they get paid and they move on. When someone says you've done a great job, go, the best thing you can do is tell your friends and family about me. And if you do that, you're halfway there in terms of building a referral network.
So how long is your actual session? Is it a couple of hours you're doing yours?
A couple of hours, yeah. It's action-packed. It's 3 days, so I've got the last session, so I turn the air conditioning on so everyone's awake and I make sure they have plenty of coffee. Like today was brilliant. We had 100 people in there today, which is a massive room.
Massive, yeah.
And I could really feel they were starting to look at me and writing things down, and I felt like I've really got the crowd here. So I really got stuck into it, and I get people to talk about what they think marketing is about, because really there's no right or wrong answer with marketing. I've had some loopy ideas, but in the end, try it because it might work for you. So,
what's some good ones for you that you let's say these loopy ideas. Let's talk about these loopy ideas because this is interesting to me because I like a bit of marketing stuff on the side as well. So, what are some ideas that you have or that you've implemented that you found work for you? Or
okay, well, I'll tell you a scenario. We had Jim's Conveyancing came into us, talked to us one day. I've been training all the building inspectors about how to look good and how to talk and promote your business when you're going to see a conveyancer because they refer us a lot of work. And the conveyancer guy came in all ready to go, and I'm thinking he's going to talk about how he can get us work and all that sort of stuff. He said, okay, I've had about 2 or 3 of you guys come into my office to have a chat with me. Not one of you has asked me about my business. He goes, the first guy to refer me a job, I'll refer you 50 jobs, because that's about the ratio of what.
Wow.
So a light bulb just hit. I went, I've been teaching these guys the wrong way. So I grabbed him and had a coffee with him. So what I set my building inspectors to do when they start, I go, you got a challenge. I want you to go in and see a picture referrer, a conveyance is a good one for us, and go in there and talk about nothing but their business. Don't talk about your business at all. And walk out with their card and do everything you can to refer them a job first. And if you refer them a job and you make sure the person who you've referred, I don't care if it's your mum, your cousin, whoever, if they see that job came from you, the next time you go to see them, they're going to ask you about yours, your business. And that actually creates that instant relationship where you're going to nail that conveyancer. You're going to get that conveyancer to be your first building inspector that they talk about. So that's something that I really try to get the guys to do. The other thing too is friends and family and other gyms franchisees are the lowest hanging fruit you can possibly start with. So when you start your business, you're not going to be an expert at marketing or, generating referral or talking about your business in the best way. So go and practice on your friends and family. Because if you write down all the potential referrers that you could talk to in terms of business, I bet you there'd be 20 or 30 friends and family that you could go talk to, and they feel compelled to help you because they're your friends. So they'll say, oh, you should talk to him. And you get that soft introduction to people at the start, and then that builds up your confidence before you start that cold calling. Because when I walk into a session, everyone's thinking Sam's going to tell me to just door knock. Door knocking is something you've got to do, but there are different ways to start networking in the beginning. Start with friends and family, start with other gyms franchisees. Our gyms divisions should work better together. We do a lot better than when I first came here. I mean, we've got really good networking with our gyms, other divisions now, but there's a lot more opportunity there as well.
No, there's heaps. We're looking at certain things. I know this is harsh, but we're looking at doing a customer app next year, just to actually put in front of someone with an app, the cross promotional side, and obviously. When we do trying to ramp up a lot more stuff on social media and try and get a bit more divisional awareness, but you're right, it should be a lot more done than what it is, and it is getting a lot better than what it is in the early days.
100%, but 500% from when I started.
Yeah.
I constantly talk with Jim's Pest Controller, a great referrer to us. We refer them a lot of work. Jim's Handyman. Jim's Handyman's exploding. They've got so many franchisees and so much unserviced work. So Jim's Hazmat and Building Inspections obviously work together.
Yep.
So, and that's just my experience with building inspections. The other divisions are referring each other all the time, which is great.
Which is definitely key. So what else? So what's other bits of advice from that session that you tell people that people who are watching might not be aware of, that you tell new franchisees, or could be relevant to any business owner?
Yep. So probably one of the mistakes franchisees make, a couple of things. Face-to-face is a dying art. People are emailing and texting and all that sort of thing at the moment. Technology is great, but they know who gyms are. So an email is not that impressive unless they know who you are.
Yeah.
So make sure you go see them first, then follow up with the emails and texts. Oh, it's Joel from, Jim's Mowing. He went and saw me the other week. Oh, he's sending me some emails. Great. That creates that relationship. The other thing is probably the motivation and preparation for your first 3 to 6 months. Because a franchisee comes out of there, they are super excited. They're going to go flat out 12 hours a day on their business for a month. They get burnout. So you've got to structure your marketing over 3 to 6 months. Have that short-term business plan. So we do what's called a 10-point plan, where we add points to activities in our business. And I won't go into it too much, but it's like a planner for every week. What that does is that creates consistency, and what it does, it creates good habits. Because in the early days, you're not doing 20 jobs a week. So you have an opportunity to build your habits. I've got a franchisee who does 15 inspections a week. Yeah. I gave a proactive call with him and he said, I've got no jobs on today. And I went, what golf course are you driving to at the moment? It's called have a day off. Yeah. No, I'm back on board. I'm just doing my local area marketing. I'm visiting agents and all that sort of stuff.
That's great.
The ones that refer him, he's got, I've got to make sure I keep in contact, because it's become a habit for him. At the start, he wasn't like that, but he just built those habits that it's just automatic for him now.
And do you find it's those ones who are the most successful? You said you got your 10-point plan, you got your system in place.
Yeah.
The ones who just put their opinions almost aside of their personal bias and just stick to this thing, they always succeed, right?
Well, the process, yes, absolutely. Yeah. But the thing about the 10-point plan is they see it as a marketing process. They don't see it as sales to win a job. So if you walk into a real estate agent or a potential referrer, I don't like using real estate agents all the time. There's so many different people we could talk to, and you don't walk out with a job, it doesn't mean you failed. It means you've created more awareness in your area.
Exactly right.
Because all the services gyms do, they don't need it there and then, And you give someone a business card and say, oh, if you ever need a building inspection, what are the chances of that person having that card in their pocket when they actually need you? So you need to build that rapport with them over time, where they actually remember you when they actually need you. My motto there is visiting potential referrers is a marketing process rather than sales to win a job. It's just creating marketing awareness.
So what did you find in so obviously referrals is a massive one. Is there any other little tips or tricks or any insider secrets that you found worked for you? Because obviously you did do marketing. I think you did commerce with the marketing.
Yeah, I did a marketing degree, but I learned how to put advertising in newspapers, which is a bit arcade now. But I learnt all the concepts of it, of course.
So you've got this concept and this theoretical background, but you're in practice and you're saying great things like the face-to-face and all that sort of stuff. Now, how do you find, for you, because you're generally an upbeat type of person, you're very upbeat, outgoing sort of stuff, but you might have, that's one personality type, whereas you have other personality types that are a bit more reserved and stuff. What's your advice for people who find it maybe a bit hard in those early days, who might not be a bit more nervous face to face, or they don't, maybe they get a bit nervous on the phone or something like that?
We find that when guys start, it's about building the confidence in what they're doing. So actually having pride in their service and knowing that they're good at what they do. With builders, they go, they build a wall, they see it, they go, oh, it looks fantastic. Then they write this report on an app and they send it off and they get paid for it. And they're like, and I go, it's about the customer. They need you, you know what I mean? And once they feel they're needed, they feel more confident and they talk to people more.
Right.
So it's about building their confidence in what they are and who they are and why they're wearing the gym shirt and for that sort of thing. Okay. So that builds confidence. Another thing, and I'm not on the take with BNI, I know I've spoken about it, I'm not on the take, but I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I've had 2 franchisees who are like this when they go up to the door to knock on to talk to a real estate agent or something. Do not want to do it.
Yeah.
One guy, I got him involved in BNI, and they do a rotation where you do a 20-second talk, and then once a year you do this 10-minute presentation. And poor old Dave was sitting on the chair. They said, next week's your 10-minute presentation for his second visit. He was bringing me up, absolutely freaking out. We did a little PowerPoint presentation for him, and he got there and he's freaking out, and he's done the preso, and after a while people are asking questions, and within 5 minutes he was just loving it. He realised that he was an expert in the industry and these people actually needed him, and he's never looked back. He's one of my best franchisees up in Sydney.
Wow.
One guy today is exactly the same as David, and he's going to his first BNI this morning, and I haven't called him yet, so that's going to be interesting how it goes, because it was a visitor's day and that sort of thing. So networking groups are awesome, they're fantastic. The other thing too is, like, with being involved in a franchise group, you've got these franchisee meetings every 6 weeks. We get together. If you're out on your own, you've got no hope of talking to a competitor and asking for advice. Ask for advice from franchisees. Ask them what they do. They've all come from the same industry as you, so go and talk to them about what they do, what they like doing, how they do the marketing and all that sort of stuff, because that's where you're going to get the most out of your franchise, because us as franchisees don't compete with each other. And that's knowledge, all that knowledge and experience, feed off it, and you'll feel a lot better with the way you do things and the way you talk to people. And I think over time, it's just a matter of building that confidence.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. And I love what you said about actually you make them confident in what they're actually doing, reinforcing the values, and then that flows actually, so when they go to that, they've already got that confidence because they fully believe in themselves, which is great, because I know we've started looking at introducing role-playing and stuff, in some of the sessions, just to try and give most of our people more practical sort of learners than sort of theoretical, in the book learners. So I know that a while ago you guys were looking at doing something, I don't know if this is still done, is the role-playing, or an external party to come in, actually do the training with some of your guys. We do role play. We've done role play for years. So so that's part of my session with the building inspection training. Right.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that a little bit? Because that's something actually in the group we'd love to sort of implement a bit more role playing in. Because as you know, it can be hard sitting in the thing and just listening to someone. But if you're actually doing it, we really make it difficult for them. Actually, like we have our training is usually about 8 guys or girls. We've got 3 franchisees that are girls. And we get them in a room and we have a person come in and we say, this person's got multiple personality disorders, because they come up with different characters all the time. And Joel will have a go, and he's in front of everyone, and the call comes through and they've got to handle it. And we give the different scenarios and the different types of people. So building inspections might be an investor who knows his stuff and puts all that pressure on him, or it could be old Mrs. Smith, who's buying a house for her daughter, and we really throw all these scenarios at them. And if they can survive that session, they'll be fine out in the field. So that's a really, really important part of our training. That's great to hear.
Yeah, and guys actually get that. That builds their confidence as well, because they walk out of there going,
So that's before they go live in the field. That was that after. So we obviously have the 3-day training. Was that during their process?
Yeah, they do a 5-day building inspection course, and the last day's with me doing marketing, preparation and business planning, and role play and all that sort of stuff. Now,
is that role playing something you keep during the whole time as a franchisee, or is there sort of...
if we get guys that are struggling,
Yeah.
we bring them in, bring them back in for a bit of retraining and that sort of stuff. So yeah, sometimes guys, it's not. I shouldn't even use struggling. It's just confidence.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they might win 25 out of the 30 leads they got that month, and the next week they just have 10 where they lost every lead, and their confidence just drops away. And that's human nature, you know. And then we just bring them back in and go, oh yeah, and they just might have forgotten a couple of little things that they should be saying, you know, adding value to the product and all that sort of stuff. And you know, we build up their confidence there, and away they go, you know.
Now, there's a majority of people in your division building professionals, or they're most of them chippies, or what's the background of most people?
Yeah, so they're generally licensed builders or chippies or structural engineers or project management type guys. We're actually building all our guys up to get their at least their domestic builder limited license. So we've got a company who helps them through that process. So if they've got enough experience to get that, they're okay. We can bring them through. So
you have that extra training as well whilst in board to
get they have an option with an external company to get their builder's license if they wanted to. Because some people do ask for a builder.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, I'll argue some chippies know a lot more than some of the licensed builders out there, because they've been in the field and they deal with every type of aspect of a building when it's being built. But we're going down that path to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Now, you said that you had 3 women building inspections, inspection owners. So let's talk about a little bit of them, because it's something obviously on the looking outside of it. I didn't know that, so I'd love to know, because we obviously want to have more women involved in all that. Because I 100%. Think that with gyms, everyone sees it's a blokey service and whatever, but I love finding, like, we've got Termite and Pest Control. Obviously, we've got some women pest controllers in there. You've got 3. So I'd love to have more of these divisions with more ladies to franchisees. So maybe do you want to talk a bit about one of them or a couple of them?
Yeah, I'm lucky to have 2 of them in my regions.
Oh, really? Okay,
so
great.
Jody started with us, forgive me, Jody, I reckon about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
First woman to be in our group, so there was a little bit of, you know, she was a little bit nervous about it.
What's her background before coming?
She was an architectural background, so draftsperson. Did a lot of sort of development stuff and all that sort of stuff. Knows her stuff. She is absolutely one of our best franchisees. She has really good rapport with customers, because most of our customers are women. Might be husband and wife operation, but the wife's ringing up, organising the building inspection a lot of the time. I think it's 65 to 70% are women.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. She also does new construction reports. So on the reports, giving the builder a defect report, and builders welcome her on the deck. She's absolutely fine. So she's been great. Monica's a building inspector up in Sydney, and she has great rapport with real estate agents, customers. She's reasonably new. They're about 12 months in. She's really finding her feet at the moment, and she's preferred in a lot of instances by real estate agents and conveyancers in Sydney. They take a lot of care. A lot of times we're dealing with the home that's being prepared for sale too, and they just seem to have that touch where they put people's minds at ease, you know. So the girls are doing really great, and Hetty's in Victoria as well, who we deal with, and she's going great as well. Yeah. So there's no reason why you can't be a woman and be a building inspector a building consultant in Victoria and a building inspector across Australia.
It's great to hear, and that's a great point you said about the majority of gyms clients are women most of the time, right?
Yeah.
And there's such an advantage for ladies if you are in that service industry. You can, as you said, clients love you. They feel a lot more at ease with you. They're probably a little less intimidated maybe by having a lady rock up to their place as well.
Spot on.
So we want more women people in the gyms. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
Please, if you're thinking about it, come on board.
And I'm probably having a crack at the men, but they're super organised. Yeah. I bring up for a proactive call. They've got their list of things they want to talk about. I mean, they're just, you know, dreamers of franchisors. The 2 female franchisees that I have, they're great. They're really super organised. Their report writing skills are better. They write a little bit better than the men. You know, their grammar tends to be better.
I'm
going to get a few cracks from the boys about that. But seriously, they really are great franchisees, and we're happy to have more women in our group.
I love hearing that, because for some divisional services it can be pigeonholed, right? So for example, dog wash and grooming people, it's just for women. Let's say for mowing, it's for the let's say just the men. But when you hear about or building inspections, but let's say when you hear you always hear some stories. I always ask regionals deliberately if you've got a lady franchisee or whatever, because then every time it's a positive review. I've never heard one bad review about a woman franchisee in those sort of typically bloke divisions.
Yeah. they tend to get on with things, you know.
Yeah.
There's a heap of guys doing the dog wash, I've noticed.
There is actually.
Yeah.
So it's role reversal now.
I reckon it'd be 50-50.
It's role reversal.
Saw, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So generally, the dog wash at the moment, it tends to be it's like a partner business, right?
Yeah,
you know,
it does seem to be that.
Boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband and wife. But it's a great point.
Mm.
So thanks for talking about this sort of stuff, Sam. Now I want to end with some just generic chat. So what do you like to do outside of work? You're a footy man?
I still play footy, actually.
You still play? So how old are you?
39.
39, still playing.
Yeah, my wife just can't handle it. But no, I had my first child at 31 and started with Jim's building inspections. That was a pretty crazy year.
That's pretty full on.
Knocked out 3 kids. And now they're a bit old enough where I can nick off down to training. So I made a comeback after 6 years. And I played baseball in the summer. So I love sport.
Play baseball?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who do you play for? Give them a plug.
The Ormond Glen Huntly Baseball Club.
Yeah.
I'm actually president of the club.
What position?
Catcher or centre field, I play in the twos now. They just put me where they put the old man.
Yep.
But and I play in the twos at the St Paul's Doggies Football Club down in Bentley.
What position are you there?
Oh, that's definitely wherever they put me. I'm lucky to get a game. I go to training and see when they call out the teams, they go, Sammy's still in, because there's obviously a few injuries, so that's the only way I get a game.
How's the body holding up?
Yeah, not too bad. Got through it all right this year. We'll see what we do next year. But I love having a young family. The kids are 7, 5 and 2. 7, 5 and 4. Sorry.
Now, boy, girl. What are they?
2 girls and a boy.
The
second girl, Emily, is about to start school next year, and so it's a pretty cool time with kids that age. So
and how's the business lifestyle for you with having a young family? Because it's crazy. I wish I mentioned at the start actually to work in the intro. You started when you had your first kid, and you started a new business at the same time.
Flew to Sydney probably once a week. Yeah.
Really? Wow. Tough.
So it was pretty full on. Now it's I'm glad you asked this question because I grew up with my old man who ran his own business, had 30 guys working for him, and probably worked 7 days a week. And took the afternoon off on a Sunday to watch us play footy and do things like that, And that was what I was used to. Yeah. The office was in the lounge room. He would work flat out, and, love my old man. He did a great job bringing up our family. So that's what I thought business was about. So I ran for the hills when I thought about running a business because I wanted the lifestyle. In my business, I reckon I would be turning over the same amount, in terms of profit and that sort of thing. And I can't remember the last time I worked a weekend, So the lifestyle with gyms, the way it's set up, you pay your fees, but you pay your fees for a reason. You've got a call centre, you can turn your leads on and off. The flexibility with that is something that I really loved from the start. And it's what I wanted because I didn't want to lose that lifestyle with my family, and I still haven't lost that, even though I'm, doing all the training and doing, looking after a couple of divisions. So that was really important to me.
That's great to hear. Now, is there anything outside of the footy that we wouldn't know about you, or that you want to tell people, or we'll leave it at that, or? What else do you do outside of footy?
No, family man, play a bit of sport, get involved. I like getting involved with the school and all the kids and all the parents and all that sort of stuff. So that's enough for me. That keeps that going. Yeah. Wedding anniversary today, actually. Yesterday.
Really?
So being married for 9 years. So
wow.
the lovely Lindsay, who's been a good support. So life's good.
That's great. So thanks for doing this, Sam. We really appreciate it. It was great to have you on, just to let people know that obviously we do. It's called the Gyms Cast, but there's obviously so many people and great stories like yourself, and all the opportunities that are with gyms, like you starting and having the lifestyle business, and you've gone from franchisee to dissolve very quickly, obviously to one of our trainers, and now you've got the lifestyle and the family and all that sort of stuff that you've got together, and it's great to hear it. And you're one of the great brand ambassadors and champions of the business. You've got an infectious personality. That's why I thought it'd be great to have you on. And anyone who comes to the training, please do the 3-day training course. Sam will be on the 3rd day, and he'll be last up. Is it the last up session? Or
last up session. So
make sure you're awake and have a couple of coffees when you come.
That's right.
But we appreciate this. Yeah.
And if I could give any advice to someone looking at a gym's franchise, just come along and check it out. If you come to those 3 days, come and have a look at how it.
Well, there's no obligation to sign a contract before you come, which is the difference, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have done it unless I had a look at what gyms was all about.
Yeah.
They even let you come into the call centre and put on the earphones and listen to how they take a lead and all that sort of stuff. So I encourage you to just come out and have a look. If it's not your thing, it's fine. Franchising isn't for everyone, but look, the majority of people we send out are really impressed, and they come on board, so it's brilliant.
Well, we use the training as a hopefully a selling tool, right? Because we really do promote that we don't want you to sign before you come and do the training. Just make sure that you see everything about it. So what Sam said is very, very important.
Yeah.
And so if you want to come along, It's really easy. Obviously, Google Jim's building inspections or Jim's hazardous. Is it waste?
Jim's hazardous material?
Jim's hazardous. I don't know why I keep saying hazardous waste. I think I'm The Simpsons or something. Jim's hazardous material removal as well.
Yeah.
Sam's a franchisor and obviously a franchise. Are you still doing any jobs or are you just full-time?
No, full-time franchisor.
Full-time franchisor.
And just with the training too, it's not it's here to show you what the Jim's Group is all about, but it's not a sales pitch. You get the bare bones of it, exactly what you're in for, what you should expect from a franchisor, what we expect from you in terms of customer service. So you walk out of there, if you after those 3 days you still want to do it, you're probably someone we're after.
Yeah, so. And that's a great point that we should have mentioned, is that no one in the training, obviously besides Jim is the CEO, but everyone else is not external. They're all franchisees or franchisors. They've been one or the other or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're still doing it, actually. They're all most of them are full-time franchisors still, to my knowledge.
Yeah, they are.
Besides Jim himself, who's the CEO and founder of the company, does the first session. But I really appreciate you doing this, Sam.
No worries.
Thank you very much. And obviously, if you are watching this, please make sure you subscribe to the Jim's Cast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher and everywhere else. And we obviously do a video version of this as well. So subscribe to the YouTube channel to be notified when this all goes live. If you have any questions or guests or anyone you want to see, please drop them in the comments below. Make sure you hit share. It really helps us out. And hopefully you tune into the next episode, which always drops on a Monday. And you'll be notified that if you subscribe. And obviously check out our social channels.